Welcome to part 2 in our Bulletproof website series with the serverless website on AWS. Today we're going to work on S3 buckets. This is a pretty simple exercise of setting up an S3 bucket and making it available as a website. Keep in mind it's just one of a number of pieces that we're working on for this architecture, but let's get into it. First thing you have to do is know the domain name that you're going to be pointing there, and then make sure that you use a server name for your bucket name. By server name, I mean www.yourdomain. Now, if you're using Route 53 on AWS, you can actually use that root domain, in my case, mjldev.com. But to be honest, we don't all use AWS DNS, and you can't take the base domain, mjldev.com in my case, and point it to an S3 bucket like a CNAME. It has to be an IP address. So we'll get more on that when we do the DNS exercise later, but suffice to say, create a bucket, go down to the bucket name, and create it with a host name .domain name, and then we can move on to actually creating that static website hosting. You go to the Properties tab, scroll all the way down. Now you can ignore this bit about Amplify because what we're going to do is simply edit the hosting and set it to enable and then host a static page. And then down here where we have an index and an error document, you notice I've named my error document articles.html. And that's because in our Bulletproof website to do the dynamic content generation, I'm actually going to be using the error page, the 404 pages, rewriting to the content coming out of our website. But we'll get into that more with our content management and the HTML5 sections of this exercise. But you can call it error.html or articles.html. And then we need to make this website publicly accessible. So we go to permissions, and where it says block public access, go ahead and hit the edit button on there and uncheck everything because you want your HTML, your CSS, your images, all your JavaScript to be available to be read. This doesn't let anybody write to your buckets, but what it does allow is for people to see it as a website. Then we do have one more permission we have to do down here where it says bucket policy. Make sure you edit that, and I'll have this policy available in a link in the bottom of this video. But you need to take, you see where it says the resource, ARN S3 www, change that bit there to your bucket name. And what this will do is allow, again, access through all the security. Keep in mind, people use S3 buckets for all sorts of things. There was the whole Capital One thing where they had all of their credit applications stored there. There are definitely security issues we need to address. But in this case, we want people to be able to read everything. So we're almost there now. Now we just have to upload the index and articles HTML pages. And again, I will have those on the page that will be linked to in the bottom of this video. You upload those. And once they're there, you can go back to your Properties tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom again where it has that static website hosting, and you see right there where it says Bucket Website Endpoint. That is your ability to then view the website that you've posted. So we've got a few more things we're going to have to do. Setting up the DNS. We're going to have to set up CloudFront. We're going to have to configure the secure certificate so that we can have HTTPS, rewrite the errors to the 200s, and probably actually a number of things that I didn't put in this bullet point list. So look forward to part 3 coming soon.